Breeze Nation, what is good? The Chicago Bulls have gone out and drafted Noe Essengue, and I'm not going to lie to you, I felt like y'all deserved a better breakdown than what I gave you live. So here's my thoughts on Noe Essengue coming up next. Now, if you're not rocking with the channel, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We are the only Chicago Bulls channel that's talking Chicago Bulls, how Bulls fans talk, so make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Now, I was a big Cedric Coward guy. Y'all knew this before the draft. Y'all knew this after the draft. If you watched the draft with me, you knew it during the draft. And so I feel like I didn't give a fair assessment on the newest Chicago Bull, Noe Essengue, and I want to actually do that here in this video. So to me, when I look at Noe Essengue's game, first off, he's about 6'9", measuring in at probably 6'10", somewhere in the 195 to 200 pound range. He has already played professional basketball in the German BBL for ULM and has played with the Orange Academy affiliate as well. I think those are things that really should stand out when you talk about Noe Essengue's game because of his opportunity to already play professional basketball and how that is going to help his game. Now, when you talk about the tools that this young man does possess offensively, I think you have to talk about him as a really, really good transition finisher. Finished at a 73.7% in his fast breaks in his time playing professional basketball. I think also when you look at the offensive game, you have to talk about the interior scoring and the rebounding as well. Now, that does not mean his offensive game does not come with some question marks. I think that that is there. And when you talk about the question marks on his game, to me, it does come from the three-point shot, which basically I mean, if we're being real, does not exist to this point. I think you also have to talk about that with the fact that when you're talking about him as a NBA player, his mid-range game probably doesn't match up as well. I think that's something that maybe played out a little bit better overseas that probably won't play out nearly as well when they're being much more physical with you defensively here in the NBA. But when you talk about him at the rim, I think that you can talk about him as somebody who has been very efficient, can take the ball off the glass, get to the bucket, and finish around the rim. Now, when you talk about him, I think with as far as being positionally a big man or a small forward, the Chicago Bulls, Mark Eversley, GM of basketball here, talked about him as a wing player, not as a big man. I think that you probably skill set wise would have to look at him as a big man, but seems like Mark Eversley and the Chicago Bulls are looking at him more as a small forward or a wing player in some sort here, where he's taking shots. He's somebody who's going to be on the perimeter. And we have seen his game develop, improved yearly. He was 17% his first year playing professionally, 25% his second year, 32% his third year, but that 32% was very inconsistent. You would need to see somebody kind of get that game on kind of in the right direction here with the Chicago Bulls, and that's very tough when you just fired your shooting coach a couple of months before. But I think the one thing about him that does stand out when you talk about on the defensive end, that is where his bread and butter is made. When you're talking about guarding multiple positions, he can guard in the paint. He's very active in the paint. I think you can also talk about him being able to guard on the perimeter as well. He is a raw talent with a lot of upside, and my concern with Noe Essengue is not Noe Essengue's potential. It is the Chicago Bulls. And I think a lot of Bulls fans share that sentiment. When you look at Noe Essengue's game, I implore you to go look at some of the upside this young man may have. I implore you to look at some of the two-way ability this young man may have. And I ask you to go out there and say, do you think that he can't reach this potential? I think that this young man has all the talent in the world. My big concern is, are the Chicago Bulls going to be able to get the most out of this young man as he continues to play in this Bulls organization? I think that right now, I don't have the faith in what AK has built. I don't have the faith in what the Bulls have done over the last few seasons. I can look at last season and say there was some solid growth, but over the last few seasons, I think it's very tough to look at Noe Essengue and say, yeah, this guy's gonna have all the tools and all the experience at his disposal to turn into the player that the Bulls are hoping that he can. But when you talk about taking a player with high upside, I think that is very much what you got here in the draft. I think if you're a Chicago Bulls fan and you're looking at this young man, you should feel like he's somebody who can reach that potential, who has the mindset and the talent to reach that. And that may be the biggest difference in him getting to that point or not. Pairing him up and with what is already here as well. When you look at a guy like Matas Buzelis, when you look at Kobe White, still a part of this team, and Josh Giddey, I think the Josh Giddey aspect of this is going to be the biggest thing that the Bulls can really hang their hats on. Running the floor, he's going to dominate with Giddey running the floor with him. I think that the fact that both of them could take it off the rim, push the basketball, get up the court, and find each other on that on fast break opportunities, that's going to be really big for both of these players. And I think he's going to fit in very well with what the Chicago Bulls want to do. Again, it's all about how the Bulls go out there and develop him in the long run. I think that Noe Essengue is a solid piece for the Bulls to add. The big question is, can the Bulls go out there and develop him into the player that everyone hopes that he can be? Or is he just going to be another Patrick Williams, which is a concern? Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. I wanted to give my Cedric Coward free breakdown of this young man because I do think there's talent there. I think there's upside. I do think that he could be somebody who does play the big man position for the Bulls if they try to bulk him up. I think there's options with him at this position because a 6'10" ability here, like there is the small ball big option if you want to go there. I think that there's also an option for him to play the 3 for the Bulls. I don't know what the Bulls expectation on him is to be, but with day 2 right around the corner, maybe there's a big man there that could be grabbed by the Chicago Bulls. And what I mean by that is, you've got a guy like Vladislav Golden who's still on the board there, who was dominant out of Michigan. You didn't end up coming away with Danny Wolf, who was somebody else I've been really high on. But you've got a guy like Vladislav Golden who's still on the board, solid rebounder, solid size, definite big man, 7'1", 250 pounds, a guy who didn't foul very much in college. And I think that translates very well to the NBA game as well. You have to look at all those pieces. What are the Bulls going to do on day 2? We'll talk about that tomorrow as we will be live for day 2 of the NBA draft. But as always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. See Red Nation. Stand up. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always. See Red. Peace.